What's going on, guys? Just me and the dehumidifier down here in the crawl space of one of the girls that works in our office. She had called me late last night and told me that the temperature was going up on her thermostat and that it looked like the outside unit was running, but there was no air coming out of the vents. So I told her to just go ahead and turn it off so I wouldn't have a block of ice here this morning. And I was going to swing by here and try to squeeze this in real quick. It is a Goodman unit, and it is a good old X13 motor. So of course we have high voltage sitting on that motor all the time, and we're waiting on our low voltage to actually turn the motor on. And Goodman is using a relay to do that. Some people like Linux don't even use a relay to do that. And you can see that the original manufacturer's relay was replaced some years ago, and they switched it to that style of relay. That's what Ferguson sent as a replacement for this thing. And they have since changed to another relay. I just did one on an Amana unit the other day that had this type of relay, and they were actually switching to an ice cube relay. So the first thing we want to do is verify all our power, high voltage and low voltage, because just like everybody else, the first thing they start doing is throwing breakers and pulling fuses and disconnects and everything else, thinking that they're going to get it to reset. So we want to verify our power, make sure we've got everything. We're on our line side of the contactor. We've got our 244 there. And right there is the load side. And there we've got our 244 coming out the bottom. So then we want to come over here to our low voltage strip and verify our low voltage. We're just going to go common to R, and we've got 26 there. And now we're just going to jump over here and go common to G. And if you can see that, well, I'm on there. You'll have to trust me. There's common to G. And we do have 26 volts. Because right now, I have the thermostat set to off with the fan on. And of course, we have no blower. Our power's here. Our low voltage is here. Now we're going to check the bottom side of this relay. That kind of looks like a heat sequencer. But that's just something that Goodman has used over the years. That goes all the way back to the Janitrol days. But you see the green wire on the top is going to be the 24 volts. And the blue wire is going to be our common. So we are just going to go ahead and verify that we do have 24 volts on that coil, which we do. So now we know that that relay is being told what to do, and either it's not doing anything or the motor is bad. So now we need to verify that. And the way this particular relay is working, if you see, we have a white wire up here on the top, and that comes back to the W terminal right here. That is on a normally closed switch to the wire underneath it, which is the purple, and that comes back to a T2 terminal, which goes to a white wire that is going down to power the speed tap for the blower. So that is our normally closed set of contacts on that relay. So if you ever if you ever get a call for the electric heat to come on and you get power here on your white wires, you have to have the blower on. You can never have your electric heat going without a blower going. And that is just their way of doing it on this unit. Usually that was run off the top stack of the heat sequencer. On our older style PSC motors, we would have a leg coming off that top stack of the sequencer, so whenever it closed, it would power a heater and the blower. and that's just the fail-safe to make sure the blower is always running whenever that sequencer is closed and those heaters are on. So they're just doing it a little differently over here, and we're just doing it all through low voltage. So our normally closed set of contacts is over here on this side and down to that purple wire. Alright, so the red wire runs back over here to 24 volts. That's constant 24 volt power sitting right there all the time, and it's waiting on the green wire to power the coil of the relay and close that normally open contact and send power from the red wire to the purple wire, which comes over here to the white and turns the blower on. So we need to verify whether that's happening now or not. One of the easier things you can do on a relay like that, sometimes you can get lucky and you can just take the back of a screwdriver or nut driver and you can tap on that thing, and if it is stuck open, you'll hear it click and it'll close and everything will come on, and you know that's your problem. So let's, just for the heck of it, we'll try it and see if it does anything. Didn't hear a click. We might not get lucky this time. So what I am going to do now, I am going to remove the red wire and the purple wire, and I'm just going to jump those two together, and we're eliminating the relay at that point. We're sending power straight to the motor, and we'll see if she comes on. Give me just a second. Alright, you guys, so here we go. I've got one of these little double-ended stake-ons right here, and we have just jumped out our red wire to our wire, sending power down to the motor. And right now we still have no motor, so that's not looking too good. We might end up being a bad motor on this one. It would have been nice if it was just a relay and we could have got this thing up and going quickly, but we might end up having to do the blower motor on this one. So now we have to move forward to our next step, and you see on those X13s you have two different plugs. This plug back here on the outside with all these wires, there's our white wire, those are our low voltage speed taps, and then in here on the inside with the blue, the black, a red, and the green, that's our high voltage. On a furnace we would have 120 there. On a heat pump we have 240. So now I've got to get my meter down inside of there and check our high voltage to make sure that the high voltage is present. And if it is present on there, then this is going to turn out to be a bad motor, because we've got our 24 down there telling it to come on. So if we also have high voltage over here, then we're going to be looking at replacing that X13. So give me just a second, we'll get our leads in there, see what we got. Alright, you guys, so there we have our leads. I know you can't really see that, but we are on a black wire and the red wire, and we do have high voltage present at that motor. So this is going to end up being a faulty motor.